Kendric Maple?
I have heard the same thing as well. Talked to assistant coach Michael Leitner, and Leitner was all over Maple. He says, I want no part of him. And here you see Maple's really
trying
solid
to crunch
here.
him down, and this is going to be it. That's going to be a fall.
That's the fall for Kendrick Maple.
Wow, 29 seconds. And
I'm telling you what, someone has arrived at 61 kilos. We were looking at this weight class saying, you know, the depth, you know, maybe Coleman Scott, maybe Reese Humphrey. We got a man here. Kendrick Maple.
wow.
That just jacked me up, man. I don't.
What, because you're an Oklahoma Sooner? You trying to rub it in my face?
I didn't even realize
Right?
that.
I
didn't even realize that.
Oklahoma battle. But of course, we love all teams
Yeah,
these days.
we are completely objective. I'm as much a fan of Alan Waters.
And as I am as much a fan, I love Kendrick Maple. I love all these guys. Maple's an awesome dude, and that's the thing. Especially when we're kind of removed here, these guys are all great at all these different schools. They're really good dudes.
Yeah. Although I did wrestle a couple years with Kendrick Maple as a Sooner, so I do have that tie-in. And it does feel good to beat a Missouri guy while I'm on the call. But not rubbing it in.
Hey. No, it's cool. We're still friends, Richard. I still love you no matter what.
Absolutely.
So what do you think, Dennis or Humphrey? You got to say Humphrey is the
yeah, Humphrey looks solid. I mean,
he's the favorite, of course.
In my mind, he's the guy here at 61.
And speaking of, I mean, number 1 seed, Coleman Scott goes down second round to Ali Nazer of California. Who's he? Yeah. And all of a sudden, kid bursts on the scene, and he went toe-to-toe with Waters.
Well, I tell you, Coleman Scott, he just doesn't look himself right now. It doesn't look like 2012 Coleman Scott that we saw. Not that he can't get back there, but you just got to wonder what's troubling him. Coaching full time now at North Carolina, maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe he's banged up.
A child.
Yeah.
You know,
having a kid. But he'll be back. He'll be ready to roll World Team Trials, without a doubt.
I would imagine, if I know Coleman.
Reese Humphrey with a big toss over there.
And he's got that trapped on. You got Dan Dennis in trouble.
So that's quick work on both of these quarterfinals. 10-0 for Reese Humphrey in 2 minutes and 31 seconds.
These guys ain't playing around, man.
So how about that final matchup? Maple versus Humphrey, 61 kilo finals. That'll be a good one. We do have the women's semifinals going on as well on mats 1 and 2. We will wrestle those to completion before we reset with another set of 4 matches on these mats. And we are going to have Metcalf Molinaro coming up next.
Ooh, doggy. I'm telling you, this stuff's just getting more and more fun.
Yeah, you know, I was sending out a tweet earlier, and I was going to pick, 2 or 3 of the quarterfinals I was most jacked to see. And so I typed in Cologne Ramos, and then I typed in Maple Waters, and I just kept typing and typing. I'm like, okay, I guess I want to see all of them.
Right? I was like, what are you going to do? So we got a short break on the mat in front of us as we see some women tangling it up over mats number 1 and 2.
Yeah, it looks like you got Whitney Condor, the world team member, 2-time world team member, taking on Michaela Hutchinson. Whitney's ranked in the world pretty high. I think she's 7th. And then Haley Agello. And I can't quite see who she's wrestling down there on that far mat. But she's a multiple-time junior world team member, so that Some high-quality women's wrestling going on here.
And, you know, oh, look at that. Feet to back. Nice little dump on the far side. She's going to pick up the fall.
That's Carlene Slaberski picking up the fall over Agello, and it looked like that was a tight match. That was halfway through the second, 6-4 after that.
And so we've got one more to go here on mat 3. (2015) U.S. Open live here in sunny Las Vegas alongside Richard Immel. I'm Mark Bayer, and we are here at South Point Hotel and Casino
in the South Point Arena and Equestrian Center.
With a saloon right inside of it.
We are not joking. There's a saloon overlooking.
You know what? I've been here. I was here the last 2 days, and I didn't even realize that there's a bar upstairs.
There's a bar right there.
Inside the arena. I'm seeing people having drinks looking down here.
Mats 5 through 10 are wrapped around the saloon. It's
literally.
Not even a joke. They are wrapped around the saloon.
And you can actually walk through the saloon to get from some of the mats faster because it gets kind of congested back up there.
Yeah, I mean, this is a cool little setup. I mean, I love having the bowl setting for the
bowl
mats.
arena.
I mean, it makes it so much better for the fans, and you know, really allows a nice platform for our wrestlers, all styles. You know, last year we had the 2 mats. You know, all styles got to
circles,
compete.
they called it.
The golden circles, but you know, not everyone got to get up there and get that recognition on the big stage. So this is great. I love having this setup. Was a little tricky this morning, not gonna lie, trying to watch the freestyle upstairs and the Greco downstairs.
Yep.
That was the only issue, but you know, I dealt with it for an hour and
you know what? If that's the worst thing that ever happens to us,
you know, good thing I got a Flow Pro membership.
Hashtag first world problems, right? We can't watch all the wrestling we want.
We couldn't have watched it even if we could be in 2 places at once anyway. There's so many good matches going on.
Well, and then there's what, a dozen mats over
there's 16
in the
mats in the ballroom adjacent to this.
Adjacent? That's a big word for you Sooners.
You obviously don't listen to me commentate much. I pull out the word of the day, toilet paper word of the day, you know.
Say what?
Was that too far?
Yeah, you're beyond me now. But that's okay.
Word of the day calendar better, you know, new word each day.
Oh, bathroom. Yeah.
You know, you learn a new
bathroom
word each day.
And that's like, isn't that the official textbook for English at University of Oklahoma?
It
the
is.
bathroom reader?
Yes, right after the Pin the Missouri Guy textbook.
Ooh, ouch!
I'm sorry.
Slice me.
Man, I'm sorry.
You talking about the Missouri Tigers that took home a trophy this year?
That's true. We got a national champ.
You did?
Yeah.
Touche.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
But you know what? Now we're on the same team.
We are
the red, white, and blue.
Absolutely. That's what team I'm on.
How convenient. Always fun.
Did you get a chance to pick up the Hochstrasser? I think Hochstrasser won, advanced to the finals. Can I get a look at that real quick?
Did not get a chance to see. Let's bounce over to 57 kilos, and it will be Tony Ramos versus Andrew Hochstrasser, 11-0 over Danny Mitchell.
What seed was Hochstrasser there? 7 seed, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like 7.
7. He pins Matt McDonough, and he texts Danny Mitchell, who Mitchell went 6-4 over Tyler Graff, who's your number 3 seed. So your 2 and 3 seeds go down at 57 kilos before the semifinals.
I mean, but no shock there for Hochstrasser. He was in the Open Finals a year ago, had a heck of a tournament.
Yes.
Got banged up in that finals against Sam Hazewinkle. It just wasn't the same, you know. And now I think we're seeing a fresh, fully healed, ready to go Hochstrasser, and could be interesting against Ramos. Could give him a go.
Yes, definitely could. He's a very formidable opponent.
All right, so we have Metcalf, world ranking number 5.
Numero 5 de Mayo.
He is a 3-time world team member, but I have never seen him look better than I'm seeing him wrestle right now.
You know, each time we see him on the mat, I feel like
He's a guy that's
improving.
getting better every single day. It's just unbelievable. And World Cup 4-0 for the second year in a row at the World Cup. But this year, he defeats two-time world medalists. Not just one-time world medalists. It wasn't a fluke world medal. Not that a world medal's a fluke. But two-timers the last 2 years. Mongolia and Iran. And the Iranian was actually...
Fluke might not be the right word you're looking for, but maybe somebody catches fire and has a good tournament.
Right. Has a good tournament at the Worlds, but not a consistent top guy. But he beat two consistent top guys at the World Cup. And, of course, Frank Molinaro really kicked it into high gear last year in his first full freestyle season. He got third at the World Team Trials a year ago. Again, constant strides, constant improvements.
And, you know, we saw him right after college. Correct me if I'm wrong. He stopped wrestling, right? And then took 1, maybe 2 years off, and then decided to jump back at it.
Yeah, he jumped back at it, had some success, and he committed to it. He's fully committed now.
Was coaching at Rutgers, decided to come back to State College, and we'll see it here, a Penn State-Iowa battle. Two of the top colleges in the nation now, two of your top senior-level wrestlers, Brent Metcalf in the red, Frank Molinaro in the blue. 65 kilos semifinals here at the U.S. Open.
Yeah, Metcalf, of course, first thing you're going to look for, banging on the head, left-handed high C. That's what you're going to see. Did see some slick single legs off of that where he fakes the high C, goes single, misdirection.
There we see a heavy club by Molinaro there on the right side.
And Molinaro's got some slick stuff. You know, he's built. He's a bruiser, but he's got some slick stuff off of those heavy hands. You know, we mentioned Metcalf's World Cup success. Molinaro's shot right there. High C, Metcalf just slipped right out of it. Also a silver medal at the Ivania Regan Grand Prix, which is, you know, dubbed as the toughest tournament in the world.
Nails out there in Krasnoyarsk, Russia, and Siberia.
Yeah, that was back in January, I believe.
Yes, it is maybe third week of January. And like I said, Siberia, so it's dark a good chunk of the day that time of year. Had the good pleasure to go out there in 2013. Thankfully, it was summertime. Oh, and there's that left-handed high crotch. Good defense, kind of a down block. Gets the hips back. Molinaro fires off one of his own. Metcalf defends. He's into a front headlock. Brent circling with his left hip towards the mat. Cocked down. Is he going to try to circle behind?
Could he go for try to stay down on his knees here and not let Metcalf drive him up to his feet, which you just saw.
And they're going to go push out. And I see a 1 point.
They're going caution fleeing the mat for Molinaro, 1 point Metcalf. So keep that caution in mind as we progress throughout the match.
There's a heavy club again. Molinaro not afraid to get physical with Metcalf. And Molinaro throws a high crotch, left-hander high crotch of his own. Molinaro, ooh, was in deep. Good hip by Brent Metcalf. Gave a little bit of sprawl, but then thrust the hips inward. Powered into him. Metcalf, great job. Nice defense. Able to defend that shot. And then Molinaro was in pretty deep.
Oh, I love seeing this. Both these guys.
Boom, right back, counterattack. And great, boom. It's like we are watching a mirror image back and forth of each other. It's Metcalf with the high crotch, gets in deep, but Molinaro able to defend and get his hips into it.
And what's interesting here is Molinaro is going left-handed high C against Metcalf, and normally it's the other way around. Metcalf has that advantage from attacking the opposite side leg that a guy's used to, but now they're both used to it. So, I mean, that's just a completely new dynamic in play for Metcalf. Not that they haven't wrestled before, but, you know, it's just something distinct to watch out for as we approach the later stages of this match. And Molinaro was in deep on that high C.
And that'll do it. Time ticks out, so it'll be 1-0 Frank Molinaro. Excuse me. Well, Frank Molinaro trailing. Or as I was going to say, 1-0. Brent Metcalf with the lead. And there we say Molinaro with the Sanderson brothers in his corner. Cody on the left, Kale on the right.
But here's Metcalf's MO. He grinds on you in the first, and he comes out in the second like a ball of fury. And he tends to score a bulk of his points later in matches when a guy is broken, worn out.
3, 4,
I mean,
5.
Prime example, quarterfinals against Chase Pammy, Molinaro and Pammy tied 2-2 at the break. And then Metcalf comes out and just dominates the second period and opens it up. 3-4 takedowns.
And as you say that, Metcalf in on the leg. He's going to just get a push out, I think, here. And he's going to get the takedown. They are going to go 2 for Metcalf on the edge. Molinaro doesn't like the call, but it is confirmed. 3 points on the board for Brent Metcalf. And I'll call you
Nostradamus?
Nostradamus. Wow. You took the words right out of my mouth.
I'm sure it did.
Metcalf up 3-0 early in the second.
Yeah, so if you're Molinaro, you got to be on your attacks here. There he is.
And Molinaro getting to the attacks, but Metcalf, great defense, going to take him to the edge, and they're going to go 1.
I believe that's 1 point going out of bounds.
And I think a caution in 1, actually.
See, now that I don't necessarily agree with. That caution is for fleeing the mat. Molinaro distinctly planted his feet and tried to back into the mat and just got pushed out of bounds. I mean, so that's a tough call going against Molinaro. I mean, point on the board regardless. It's just one more caution, and he's out of the match.
One minute down here in the second period.
The good news for Molinaro, he's only down 4, so that's 2 takedowns, takedown turn, what have you. It's not an insurmountable lead, and he's got 2 minutes to work. So if he can get his attacks going, get some confidence, he's still right in this thing.
Down to halfway through the second, minute 30 to go here in the bout. Metcalf stays in his stance, stalking forward.
I will say, Metcalf looking really comfortable right now.
There it is again, the left-hand high crotch. Metcalf I like how he sticks on the leg. And wow, great job. Molinaro hits essentially a switch and avoids danger.
Yeah, that was close. That stick into the leg, like you just said, that might have cost him there. A quick hip heist out for Molinaro. Now he's in.
Oh, like you said, Molinaro right back in this thing. He gets a takedown. He cuts the lead in half, and one more score is going to give him the lead effectively.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the cautions are going to play effect.
No. So first criteria is highest point value. So if Molinaro gets a takedown, he'll have 2 twos, and he will win the match.
Wow.
Second criteria is cautions. That's if all scoring actions are the same.
Point values?
Point values, I think the officials like scoring actions better, but same difference, right?
I believe so. 35 seconds to go. Will Frank Molinaro be able to get back in on the legs and score another takedown on Metcalf and take this one, steal it, really, from the reigning champion?
Absolutely. He shot in here. Metcalf looks solid position right now. 20 seconds to go. Expect a quick whistle. There it is. So Molinaro down to his last stand. Metcalf, does he hold position?
Yes. You see Molinaro firing off. Molinaro, ooh, gets to the leg, can't quite finish. Look at that, Metcalf with the cradle, loses the head, sticks on the leg. And a takedown to boot, icing on the cake at the end of the match.
Takedown not confirmed.
No, not confirmed. Doesn't matter either way.
Yeah, that was excellent match.
Fun one there at 65 kilos. Metcalf, your winner. Final score 4-2. Frank Molinaro, though, gave him a very, very tough match.
Like
a gritty Molinaro.
He's constantly making strides and closing the gap against these top guys at this weight class. So, I mean, he's an X factor come World Team Trials. Someone to watch out for sure. A lot of talk about Oliver, Stieber, Pico. Not a lot of talk about Frank Molinaro.
The Gorilla Hulk. Well, hopefully there's some talk about him now because he's right in the mix.
Yeah, it's exciting to see how he comes back after this loss. He'll have a tough, probably a Stieber, coming on the backside.
Well, let's see. That is about 10-15. Do we got?
He'd be bottom side.
Loser 10-15 down here, so it's going to be, it could be Stieber Moss, Ness, or Robbins. And how about Jason
Yeah.
Ness? Don't be confused, folks. Jason Ness back in the mix here.
He had
at
a
66
heck of a match
kilos.
with Jordan Oliver.
And I just caught a little bit of that. But
Well, here's the scenario. It was 1-0 in favor of Oliver, and then Oliver shoots in on a single leg. It was almost like an outside fireman's where he's driving in, has the arm, and then on the single leg driving out of bounds. They go out of bounds, and Ness able to whip him over with an over-under spot, throws Oliver onto his back as they go out of bounds. They called it 4 for Ness. He took a 4-1 lead. Oliver challenges it, and then it switches to 4 for Oliver. So it's 5-0 instead of 4-1. So it changed the whole dynamic. And the final score was 5-0. That was the end of the scoring. So it was a crazy match. We got a crazy one going on, it looks like right now.
I see Andy Rovat on the mat pleading his case during some kind of challenge.
Yeah, Russell and Oliver.
And it looks like 3-2. I can't. It's actually 4-3 blue.
So Oliver leading here.
Yes.
Short time to go.
And are we in the second period?
Yes, second period.
Oliver going to
20
try to hold
seconds.
position. Russell coming forward as hard as he can. Oliver keeping his head down. Oliver continuing to Russell continuing to come forward. Kicked him on the side, totally accidental. And that'll do it. Andy Rovat runs over to the scorer's table, and he's going to have a word for the official. He's upset. Oliver will see Metcalf in the finals. Hey, that's one we've seen plenty of times. A clash of styles, and
but that's a breakthrough win there for Oliver. He's had troubles against Russell.
Yep. So, if Jordan Oliver is in tip-top shape and he can wrestle hard for 6 minutes, he's going to give our man, the #1 guy, Metcalf, everything he can handle.
Absolutely. I mean, he does have a win over Metcalf, be it a couple years ago, and under a different set of rules. And Mr. Rovat, not a happy camper over there.
No, he's upset. I didn't, and
I
you know
wish
what?
I could have seen
we
the
looked up
sequence.
during the challenge, really right at the end, so we didn't actually see what happened. But the good news is I know a place where you can watch these matches later on. They should be up tonight. They will be up tonight. It's called Flow. That's it, Flow. Evan Flow. So I don't know what happened. I got a feeling that very well could be a you make the call, just by the reaction. A lot of emotion, man. This, you work with your athletes. You put so much in. They put so much in, and you want to see them win. And you're going to do everything you can to make sure that they can win. So, what next, my friend?
We're going to have Nick Marable taking on Moza Faye in a battle at 70 kilos. Yeah, so Nick Marable, the top seed here at 70. Currently ranked number 11 in the World Rankings. Number 5 seed Moza Faye. Actually, this is a matchup of the finals from a year ago.
I thought this sounded familiar.
Marable and Faye.
And Marable's been the man at 70 kilos in this country basically since the weight came out, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. He was the first guy that we had on the World Cup squad. That was right after the new weights came out. He was the guy. He's really committed to this weight cut. I mean, you watching him out here, he's a big dude for 70 kilos.
His legs are like tree trunks, my friend.
Yeah, like tree trunks.
Kevin LaValle and Dustin Slater on the other side.
Nice. That's a good one. LaValle Green, heck of a match. Watch that one.
5-5. Ooh.
Yeah, LaValle with the monster comeback. About a minute left. Haven't had a chance to see Schlater wrestle, but
Although
an 11-0 over Hall.
He's got 32-0.
Yeah, and he's wrestled
final scores.
Derek St. John and Adam Hall.
Just a couple of studs, no big deal.
So yeah, that's a pretty good day for Dustin Schlater.
Steamrolled them. So
Pan Am champ. So yeah, last year we mentioned this was a rematch. Marable obviously came out on top of Faye in the finals of the U.S. Open. Marable 8th in the World Championships last year. U.S. Open champion, won the Dave Schultz Memorial this year. Won the Yasar Dogu in Turkey in 2014, where he beat who?
Jordan Burroughs.
That would be correct. So yeah, the dude's pretty good is what we're trying to get at. Hinson trained, coached by the Bull over there in the corner.
Look at that, Mozafe got a nice little shiner underneath his right eye.
Yeah,
Mozafe. Good head position.
Love Mozafe. He's a warrior, man. He trains out in Colorado Springs, lives right down the road from me. Obviously with the Army W cap, so he's in there with all those Greco guys every day, battling hard. You know, and actually he'll be going up to Penn State and training at the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club.
Really?
Yeah, the Army W cap program moving up to State College.
Wow.
So he'll be out there relatively soon. I know Moza was excited about that, getting the chance to train with a bunch of those guys like David Taylor, you know.
Frank Molinaro.
Frank Molinaro.
Maybe Casey Cunningham, who is an absolute hammer.
Absolutely. Man, Moza, the eye is looking good. Battle scars.
Nick Marable at the 5 o'clock shadow, a la Sammy Henson. Both of those guys always seem to have that half-beard look. And we go 70 kilos underway. Your semifinal bout. Mozafe in the blue, Nick Marable in the red.
So here's the deal. Marable's going to try to force Faye into some errant shot attempts. He's going to stay solid in his positioning. More high-level shot attempts. You're probably going to see like a high-level single going to the left side. That seemed to be his go-to. See, high-level double. Doesn't typically hit the knee with his shot attempts. But he's just going to pressure forward, and try to beat you off your bad attempt. And Faye, you know, has a good arsenal himself, so he's just going to have to be more selective in his shot attempts, trying to get to his ankles, create his shots instead of playing it.
Here we go. Gets to the leg. Good defense by Mozafe.
Looks like passivity warning was white paddled.
Yes, sir. Moza trying to pull on the head here and work that angle.
Nice drag there.
Oh, he's got behind the arms, rear standing here. Tripod position, Marable behind. Faye's going to get to the hip. There's going to be a takedown. Nick Marable is going to go up 2-0, minute 12 into the bout.
I like to see, or I like what I'm seeing from Nick Marable, you know, being more offensive and being the aggressor coming out here in the semifinals. But, you know, it hasn't always been the case with him. Sometimes he waits to get to his offense.
And that's worked for him in a lot of cases.
Exactly. You know, it's because he's so much thicker and bigger than these guys that he's wrestling.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
big
his
hips,
defense
big
is
legs.
so on point. But I think he's starting to realize that at the world level when he's wrestling these guys from Iran, you know, Russia, those type of guys, that he's going to have to be the one creating the action and getting to his shots. It's not just going to be able to be defensive the entire time because those guys know how to finish.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a learning curve at the international level.
Take down, minute 15 to go. First period, Nick Marable up 2-0.
So that's going to be a warning on Faye, not on the shot clock. Ooh,
Oh,
nice.
and we're going to see 4 from Mozafe.
That is dirty foot sweeping right there.
Woo. Feet to back. Mozafe now with a 2-point lead. And now you're going to have to see that offensive-minded Nick Marable.
Exactly. I mean, this is the scenario we've seen him struggle with in the past when he's trailing. And, you know, he has really separated himself as the guy at this weight class. So you got to expect him to be able to fire off some shot attempts if he is still going to be that guy. You know, he's got to come back from a 2-point deficit here in the first period.
So 15 to go in the first period. Marable comes out, scores first. Oh, and here we go. There's that double. Nick Marable is going to try to do the same. And they are going to go 4. Is it going to be confirmed? And I think we're actually just going to see 2.
That's
so
that's awfully
4-4.
close to a 4 there.
About as close as you can get. But I tell you, my initial thought was that it was only 2. But I could see why one of them would give 4. So at the end of the first, 4-4 tie, but Mozafe with the lead with the feet-to-back foot sweep that you alluded to, Richard.
I love what I'm seeing from Nick Marable right now. I know Mozafe had the great foot sweep, but that double leg right after getting foot sweeped is so key. Taking the momentum back, taking charge of the match. I mean, Faye is leading. And, you know, we'll see if he can keep that pace up and get some more points on the board on Marable. But right now it's 2 takedowns to 1. And,
Ooh, looks for an ankle pick. Nick just gets his foot out of the way. Mozafe pressing forward here. Tries to go cross. That would look like a Cale Sanderson, David Taylor type pick right there that he was attempting.
yeah, well, there's a guy named Cale Sanderson in Mozafe's corner right now.
Absolutely.
Now working front headlock. I think that's a spot where you can be effective against Nick Marable since he has given up some height.
There he goes. He runs to that single leg. This is classic Nick Marable. Doesn't need to really penetrate, just changes his level, goes down and snatches the leg. He's in, and he's going to pounce on top. He's going to put 2 more on the board. He's going to go up 6-4, leading with 2 minutes to go in the bout.
And as I said before, he's just so quick and he goes high level with all these. You know, it's not often you see a guy at 70 kilos, you know, or these lower weight classes going high level attacks. But he's so effective with it, so quick. And he's in and out. Very impressive.
Mose again looks for an ankle pick. It's not there. One hand on the head, tries to come low and pick with the other one. Faye definitely has the length and reach advantage here in this bout, but he trails by 2 with 1:20 to go. Down to 1 minute to go. Mozafe gonna need to find himself an attack. And Marable doing a great job holding his position. $35 now.
So Marable's, Faye still in striking distance here. Takedown wins it for him. I mean, this would be absolutely huge for Mozafe if he can get this takedown here. 20 seconds left. You know, but what's his go-to here?
I mean, he's just got 1 score so far, and I don't think Marable's going to get hit with that foot sweep again. 15 to go. Mozafe's going to pull on the head, continue to come forward. Marable's going to hold position. Faye with an attack. Marable defends. Mozafe, almost gets to the ankle at the end. Nick Marable.
Heck of an effort from Mozafe. Heck of an effort.
Marable,
a lot different than their match last year in the finals.
Yes, and it was a close one, but it's going to be Nick Marable. Score is 6-4. Your champion at the U.S. Open once again at 70 kilos, Nick Marable.
And you know what? Maybe maybe training up in that Nittany Lion Club is helping Rosafe out a little bit. Can't hurt.
Hey, you know, beautiful foot sweep. Close the gap.
All right, so we're going to
Valley
move up.
Slater, I didn't even see. You got 10-0 on the scoreboard over there, and halfway through the first period. I'm going to guess it was Slater just by the way he's been wrestling this entire tournament.
Well, blue, that would be Slater.
That would be the bottom man. Good call. Thank you. Red's on top, blue's on bottom. I got this.
Wealth of knowledge over here.
Wow. Knowledge, anyways. Wah, wah. Bad jokes coming at you for weeks.
We got jokes for days. So moving up to 74 kilos, Bader, and one we've seen a number of times before. But also always interesting to see the different dynamics come into play and who's grown and who can close the gap. David Taylor, Tyler Caldwell.
Let's see if Caldwell's closed that gap. You're right. David Taylor has had his number every time.
And yes, every time. But, you know, some guys just have another guy's number. Let me tell you, Tyler Caldwell is no slouch. David Taylor's amazing. He's got amazing stuff. Tyler Caldwell's a university world champion.
Yep.
He's a Pan Am champion. I mean, he is internationally sound.
You got to wonder, though, let's just say their skills are relatively even. Does David Taylor have that mental edge from winning what they wrestle 5 times?
You can say that. You can say that. Taylor and Dake. Does Dake have the mental edge over Taylor?
Well, thus far, yes.
I mean, exactly. You know, and it's until someone breaks the trend that, I mean, you're just going to sit here and look, oh, David Taylor, Tyler Caldwell. Oh, Taylor's moving on. He's won it 4 or 5 times before, but you don't know. You can't say that with guys of such high level and a guy like Caldwell who's wrestling, you know, very well the past year.
Hey, and he's gone. He went, Caldwell went 10-0, 11-1, 12-0. A lot of points on the board. David Taylor went 27 second fall, 23 second fall, 10-0.
So we're not sure if Taylor's wrestled more than 2 minutes in this tournament.
That's a good, yeah, it doesn't say how long his tech fall.
I mean, but make no mistake, Taylor's right there. I mean, he's right there knocking on the door as one of the best in the world at this weight class. You know, he finished second at the World Team Trials to Burroughs, second here the U.S. Open a year ago in
an
heck
epic
of a match. Epic proportions. But keep in mind, Caldwell, interesting stat. Caldwell ranked number 18 in the world. Taylor unranked.
That University World title.
Well, and he won the Pan Am Championships 2 weeks ago.
I love it.
And Taylor, of course, what did he get? He got 5th at the Medved in Belarus, lost to Sargush, and then lost to Sobolov, I believe.
I believe you are correct. Or was that Yazardogu?
No, they didn't go to Yazardogu. It was the Medved.
Okay. Oh yeah.
All right, I got it right here in front of me. Let me find it. It was Yazardogu. You're right. It was Burroughs.
Chalk one up for the good guys.
Okay, we'll give you 1
Burroughs
point.
went to Medved, correct?
Burroughs went to Medved, and Taylor, Oliver, Zach Ray, those guys went to Yazardogu.
Turkey! That's how they say it. I mean, that's my version of how they say it. They'd probably laugh at me if they heard me try to say it like that. Anyways, I digress.
Also,
on your other mat.
Other mat. I was just about to
Go
get to that.
for it, brother.
Interesting dynamic at play. You got the young pup, Anthony Valencia, taking on the brute,
the scrappy
Andrew
vet.
Howe.
Here we go, right in front of us. David Taylor in the red, Tyler Caldwell in the blue. 74 kilos semifinal bout here at the 2015 U.S. Open. And look at that. Sorry to get off track, but Valencia takes down Howe immediately. Valencia train wrecking fools. 10-0, 11-0, 10-5 over Colt Sponseller.
To
Taylor,
the back.
low leg dresser dump, if you will. Taylor throws him around, gets his arm trapped. And he's got 2. Was that another 2 I saw? 4-0 David Taylor.
That's going to be a 4-pointer, feet to back, then another 2, so it's 6-0 Taylor. Man.
Coming out.
That was half a second away from a fall.
Yes, absolutely. David Taylor might have been actually too fast. If it had taken him longer to roll him over and get that dump, he may have secured the fall. As it is, it's 4-0, 45 seconds into the bout.
Just look at the length on Taylor. It's just the way he moves and the way he's able to torque his body and get to those positions with that, with that ankle pick, or just like you saw reaching underneath and across. It's just such an advantage for him. He's so good at it.
Long and lanky like me and you.
Exactly.
And he is stalking Tyler Caldwell. Controlling the elbow, Caldwell on the head. Taylor, your number 1 seed. Tyler Caldwell, number 4. And again, Anthony Valencia blows through Andrew Howe, making it 4-0 on another double leg. Wow.
I'm starting to listen.
Yeah. Valencia's a hammer. 4-0 here in front of us. Taylor, looks for another pick, and he's going to miss it, but he comes across. Basically kind of a go-behind.
He just makes it look so easy, but that
wasn't
is
even a drag, and now he's got a trapped arm gut. He better watch out. Caldwell defends, gets his arm free. 8-0. David Taylor, he is 1 takedown away from closing this match with 1:01 to go. Caldwell with blood on his nose, and he could probably use a second to regain his composure and take a second, just maybe shake the cobwebs or think about this for a second. You see,
like lightning. He's lightning quick, and he's making these moves look easy. And what he's doing, it's so high skill. It's so hard to do.
Against an absolute hammer in Tyler Caldwell. Let's not take that away. Let's not forget how good Tyler Caldwell is.
No. World champion at the university level.
Here he comes pulling on the head. Caldwell moving him. And Tyler Caldwell now doing a good job of moving him. But it's not just moving him, it's setting up that shot and penetrating through and finishing it.
Yeah, time taken down in the first period here. Taylor a takedown away, and he's in deep.
He's to the legs. He's going to try to push him out. No, readjusts his lock. Nice job. Drops down to the leg. He's got the ankle. Got Caldwell in bad position, and he's to the edge. They're going to call 2. Are they going to confirm it?
They're going out of bounds. We got
1. We got 2. We got 1. We got 1 confirmed.
So it's going to be 9-0.
Taylor again.
It's impressive to watch his feel. It's the way he uses his momentum.
No, we got what's going on? We got 19 seconds left.
I think we might have some blood.
Oh, more blood for Caldwell?
Yeah.
Or is it Taylor this time? No. You see David Taylor there with Casey Cunningham in the beard. That was Kale down on her knee with the hat on. Now we see Caldwell getting tended to by the trainer.
So Valencia and Howe are, what, 4-4 at the break?
Valencia and Howe 4-4 at the break. Oh, doggy. We got a dog fight.
Taken Howe down twice.
And we're talking about, what's Valencia, 18 years old?
Yes.
And he's got Howe's leg back up in the air, but back in front of us, David Taylor needs 1 more point to finish off Tyler Caldwell. Will he get it in the next 15 seconds? Will Caldwell make it into the second period? Taylor not over anxious to try to get to it. He gets to the... Are they going to? No. Taylor got him to the mat, almost scored. Time runs out. We got a white paddle, no score. So we're going to go to the break. 9-0. David Taylor with the lead. Still ties score over there 4-4 between Howe and Valencia. Howe 25? 6?
Howe is, I think he's 26.
Wow. He's got, what, 8 years, 9 years on the kid?
Yep. He's definitely got the experience edge. But don't forget, Valencia was well on his way to a junior world title before getting caught and pinned.
Yeah.
So back to it here. And
Taylor back in on a leg, head on the outside. And look at that. He's going to get taken through. We're going to go 2-1, I believe. So a 1 point overall gain there for Tyler Caldwell. 10-2 on the board. Taylor 1 score away from closing this thing out yet again. Taylor heavy on the head with the left hand. Caldwell does the same. Taylor attacks, and that will do it if it's confirmed, which it is. 12-2. David Taylor is your winner.
Yeah, tech fall, and man, does he look good.
David Taylor will move on to the finals to see. Well, now it looks like it could be Andrew Howe, who leads 7-4. But the Magic Man, David Taylor, does it yet again, taking this one over Tyler Caldwell at 74 kilos.
And rocking his new shoes as well. They
And
look
did he
pretty
wink
slick.
at us? I think he winked at us.
I think he winked at me.
Wait a minute.
Maybe it was a you.
And if you haven't got a chance to check out the Magic Man mini-series that we produced just a couple months ago,
yeah.
give it a look. David Taylor takes us from the moment he got involved in wrestling, like 5 years old out in Wyoming, to, you know, moving to Ohio, to winning titles there, to going to Penn State and winning titles there, to, you know, his international career and his international career, I guess, also here domestically, and his rivalries with Dake and Burroughs. And really a lot of, he was very candid and told us a lot of things, you know, that we were probably wondering.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
right out of his mouth.
A lot of stuff you heard that you wouldn't necessarily think someone would want to talk about.
Yeah, you know, and he talks about, if I were him, those would be my demons that I would keep inside. But he was very open, and, you know, we appreciate that and all that he does for the sport. 7-4, though, next door. That is mat number 4. Minute 15 to go. Andrew Howe leading Anthony Valencia. And Howe will go underhook, pull on your head all day long.
Absolutely.
Another Oklahoma Sooner.
You would be correct.
Well, Wisconsin
I tell you
Badger
what.
to Oklahoma Sooner.
How good is Arizona State going to be? That's going to be a
They're
scary
gonna be
team.
all right.
What I'm seeing
Warm
right here
weather.
from Valencia, the boy can go out and compete for an NCAA title tomorrow.
But you know what? Mark Hall put it on him.
Absolutely.
At the very
Mark
beginning
Hall,
of the year, Mark Hall's a hammer
Mark
himself.
Hall, you know, throw him in the mix as well. I mean, this weight class is deep.
It really
We're talking
is.
senior level, we're talking junior level, we're talking cadet level.
This is your weight class, Richard, right?
Yes, and
Get back up there, buddy. Show these guys how it's done.
Do they have a 74 veterans?
They have no. It's like a 76 or something.
Oh, well, that's even better.
Yeah. I don't know how I thought. Now you got me wondering, man. And Howe with the 3-point lead late in this match. Under 10 seconds to go. Looks like he's going to hang on. And take it from the young and up-and-comer. But keep your eyes on Anthony Valencia, ladies and gentlemen. He's no joke, and he is not going anywhere anytime soon except for Tempe, Arizona. He's going to go there.
Yeah, I mean, last time we saw a performance like we're seeing here, his name was Logan Stieber as a high school senior. Made the semis of the Open.
Right?
So,
He's
I mean,
high school.
I'm just, for
High
comparison's sake, Valencia is a high school senior or just graduated.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's what you're looking at here. Potential. So much potential. And he's got a brother that's not too bad
You
either.
took the words right out of my mouth, brother.
Although they do wrestle about 180s.
Yeah, I mean, and the funny thing is, they were like 106, 120 pounds.
Yeah, we're like, are they ever going to get up to 25? And now they're...
Right when they were like 26 and 30 pounder, I even said, I'm like, you guys might end up being 74 and 84 pounders. They looked at me and laughed. I'm like, you guys are hammers. I don't know if you know how good you are and how big you're. And their father, Ruben's,
Yeah,
a
he's a big
decent-sized
man.
fella. Indeed, 76 kilograms, Richard. We'll put you out there.
I'll be there. How many competitors they have this year at 76?
You would be Division A, right?
Yeah, it would be.
4.
4. I could have made it a 5-man round robin.
4 matches
C.
each.
Peterson, Court Peterson, Wyoming, I'm coming for you.
Oh, dang, dude.
Calling you out.
Court Peterson, if you're here, hit up Richard on
I
Twitter.
feel a little bit safer calling out Court Peterson at 76 than Jordan Burroughs at 74.
All right. So, yeah, it's been a fantastic event here so far, Richard. The 2015 U.S. Open here in sunny Las Vegas. We've been inside the whole time, though, so I guess it doesn't matter what
Hasn't
the
been too
weather's like
sunny in here,
outside.
but we got the bright lights. And my man, we're going to have a great one coming your way next.
What do we got? Give us
Ed Ruth, Jake Herbert.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, we saw this.
Take 2.
We saw this
at the FPL.
At the FPL right before NCAA's. Herbert was taking it to
and it was Herbert who came out to, I believe, an 8-1, maybe 8-2 lead before Ruth storms back, makes it 9-8, and then catches.
With the cradle, yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, go. What do you know? Ed Ruth throws a cradle. Hard to believe. Yeah, we're going to see that one. And Herbert is on the comeback trail, and he's feeling good. And more importantly, is rocking arguably the best haircut here. I know Jordan Holm would probably say otherwise, and a few others, but he's definitely in the running for 80s rock star.
Freestyle distinction.
There you go.
You know, well, I believe he was wearing some sort of cornrows or braids at FPL.
I think he did. Yeah, he had his hair braided up or something like that.
Now he's rocking the mullet. I mean, we're talking Joe Dirt quality mullet here.
I put an E on the end called Dirte, but whatever.
Joe Dirte mullet.
Yeah, but I mean, it was full, like, down to his face, and he looked like Thor. He looked like Triple H. No joke. I mean, he was like all chiseled up. Now he cut it in the front. He looks like Joe Dirt. He looks like some kind of 80s rock hero.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch this because we've been talking to Herbert, you know, all week. He was a little upset when the pre-seeds come out. He's at number 10. You know, how on earth is a world silver medalist number 10 in the pre-seeds?
World silver medalist. I mean, 3-time world team member, I guess, and or
Olympian.
Olympics.
So it's just crazy. Ends up somehow working his way up to the 5 seed by the time we start wrestling. I mean, wrestling God's in his favor this weekend, but, you know, which makes sense. He should be about the 5 seed right now because you got Ruth, you got Perry, you got Foster, and you got Gavin, who have been they've been ahead of him because Herbert hasn't wrestled and competed.
Yep.
But this is where Herbert wants to make his mark and say, hey, I'm back, fellas. You're going to have to go through me to get that world title. And, this is his first step. He wants a match with Ruth again.
Oh, yeah. You got that. I've spent a good amount of time with him, and he says he's ready to go. He says he's feeling as good as he has ever. And he says, you know what? I was still in training mode. I wasn't peaking, although probably Ruth wasn't either, but he said I wasn't peaking in March for the FPL. I am peaked now. I am ready to go. I feel great. My body's fresh. Let's do it. I'm sure Ruth says, watch out, buddy.
Well,
I'm the new kid on the block.
I did an interview with them. They're trained in Colorado Springs. They wanted to do a side-by-side sitting together interview. So I interviewed both of them at the same time. And it was like they're the best of friends.
Oh, they're both sweethearts,
I mean,
right?
They're both awesome guys. I mean, the most approachable guys you'll meet. You just go up and talk to them, and Herbert will talk at you for 30 minutes without you even saying a word. You know,
likes to talk. There's no doubt about it. He is a personality among the sport.
But while their personalities are similar, their on-the-mat personalities I don't think could be more opposite.
Yeah, they wrestle a lot.
You got the smooth criminal Ed Ruth. He likes to just take his time, methodical, but at the same time, he's constantly pushing the pace, even though it looks like he's not.
Chilling out, chilling out, going.
Rare to see that. And Herbert, he's just boom, 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 on you.
He's going to be in your face, clubbing your head, looking for that. Looking for a left-handed single, come out the back door, and he's made no gripes about it. He doesn't try to hide it. He's going to come out and leads that left leg, shoot the single leg, come out the back door, and try to pop your legs to one side.
But we have talked about guys reaching another level. And Mr. Ed Ruth at the World Cup took out the 2-time reigning world silver medalist, teched him. But it was like, it was 26-6 or some 16.
It was 23-12. Or
something crazy like that.
Yeah, whatever. It was 20-something to double digits.
It was an incredible match. But the thing that Ruth did, he shot every second of the match. Anytime they went neutral, he shot immediately. I mean, there was no delay. He was in on Salas's legs, Salas the Cuban, just constantly. It just was amazing to watch. I was like, oh, Ruth's shooting again. He's shooting again. He's up by 10. He's shooting again. Like,
right?
It was insane. But yeah, check that match out for sure. Ruth versus Salas. But here we go.
Oh, I'm excited for this one, Richard.
Ruth is just over there pacing back and forth.
And he paces like all calmly while Jake struts like almost a pissed. Yeah. He's not pissed off, and he looks like he's got that. And he puts his game face on. There's 2 Jake Herberts. There's the laughable, clown around, joke around, be funny, kid with you, and be a big personality, and then there's the guy who just puts on the mask and the mean look and the serious face and steps on the mat ready for business.
Gosh, he looks good to go.
He looks big, doesn't he?
He looks big. He looks focused. I mean, the mullet is definitely helping things out image-wise. But and Ruth is just, you know, he's almost like he's got a smile on his face.
And thank you, Zeb Miller. He's a smooth criminal. And look, he'll stand still and not move his feet, and then he'll come forward.
Ruth, in on the legs, in on the legs, in on the legs, in on the legs. That's how he was the entire World Cup.
Herbert stops the shot with his head. Ruth taking a couple already. Jake looks for the drag, no go. Ruth to the, no, I was about to say Ruth to the leg. Good defense, gets his head in the way, does Herbert, but Ruth is lightning quick.
Yeah, excellent misdirection stuff from Ruth. And one thing I noticed is he baits a collar tie.
Oh, nice slide by. Ruth trying to get the push out here, and he's gonna score one, and he's gonna take Jake Herbert to the edge.
Actually, yeah, they're gonna go one on that.
Yeah.
2 was held up and offered, but 1 confirmed.
Pendleton
just a subtle thing I noticed at World Cup. He posts like he's going.
Now Herbert in on the leg, head on the outside, trying to cut across. Ruth catches an ankle. Herbert, what's gonna happen here? He's in position to score, but Ruth has him tied up just a little bit. Now Ruth coming out the back door, catches an ankle. Herbert trying to tie him up. Jake Herbert trying to come out the front. Jake might expose the back. It looked like he did, and it's gonna be 2 for Herbert and 1 for Ruth. 2 and 1, so Jake Herbert with the lead, the 2-point score. 2 1-point scores for Ed the Truth Ruth. Herbert flat on the mat, and we're gonna go back up. 2-2, minute 43 to go in the first.
Nice scramble there to kick things off in the
That
first.
was fun, that was a good one.
And this is gonna be an entertaining match, no doubt.
Ruth takes another shot, defended. Again, Herbert blocks it with his head. Ed Ruth moved from Pennsylvania down to a much warmer climate, training in Tempe, Arizona.
Absolutely.
Arizona State.
Nice fresh change of pace for him. I think it's going to be good. Getting under the tutelage of Zeke Jones. You know, you got Chris Pendleton there. And you're going to have these guys named the Valencias coming in, and Lance Bennick, some of those guys. Blake Stauffer.
Also in this weight class.
I mean, but look at the amount of shots Ruth is putting out. He must have shot 10 times already.
Yeah. Herbert's taken 1, maybe 2. He scored on the 1. And we're down under a minute to go in the first. 2-2. Ruth and Herbert.
Herbert's doing a good job of tying up Ruth's arms.
Herbert's slowing Ruth down here a little bit.
He's slowing him down on, you know, those. Just keeping those arms at bay is what's key. I mean, he's keeping it tight and up into the chest. Ruth just simply can't grab the legs and hold on. So if he gets in, he's a near lock to finish if he can get it, you know, get that angle.
Jake Herbert doing a good job here, keeping good position, slowing Ruth down and keeping his head in between the two of them. Ruth rests his elbow on his knee, comes back to a tie. And we are pushing with 15 to go here in the first. 2-2. Ruth and Herbert. Herbert takes a shot, got to that left-handed single. Ruth able to defend, get to a seatbelt wizard position. And that's it. We're going to go to the break. And it is 2-2, Herbert and Ruth. Jake Herbert,
a lot of action in that one.
Score. Ed Ruth, 2 1-point scores.
Are you giddy?
Oh, I'm a little giddy.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a hot second period, let me tell you. Because Ruth's not going to stop coming, but I think he's got to make an adjustment here to somehow clear the wrist. I think, you know, Herbert is expecting him to shoot constantly, which is helping his defense out.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe, you know, some misdirection, some fakes there from Ruth. Maybe go to a tie-up. See what else he has in the bag. We know he's got a plethora of offensive attacks. So interesting to see the changes here in period number 2. And
a lot different match than we saw in St. Louis back in March. That one was a high-scoring affair. Tons of points on the board in the first period. This time we see just 4.
Yeah.
Ruth in on a shot. Herbert sits the corner here. Herbert trying to take him through. Herbert's going to get 2, I believe. And it's going to go 2 blue. Is that going to be confirmed? Herbert's going to try to take him to his back again. Another 2. Jake Herbert's going to go up by 4. This is big. Can he take him across again and expose the back? He's got that.
Now, Ruth has some points coming here.
There's another one. Herbert's looking for the fall. Jake Herbert's got Ed Ruth in trouble. And he's going to stay right here. Herbert's got all kinds of time. He can rest. He's up by 4, 2:15 to go. And Jake Herbert looking to reverse the roles here and pin Ed Ruth. Not going to get the fall, but a boatload of points in that exchange. And Jake Herbert, just like that, up by 4 with 2 minutes to go. And is he going to try to look for another turn? He's going to get it. Is he? Yes, they're going to go 1. It was hand-to-hand. Will it be confirmed as 1? Check that. It was 6, not 8. It's back to 7 now with the 1.
So
8 was on the board.
So the scenario was it was a 2-2 on that initial exchange. Herbert turned Ruth, but Ruth also turned Herbert, and then Herbert comes out on top with a reverse exposure of his own.
And our referees are going to go talk it over. See if I can sneak a peek.
Yeah, sounds good.
And they slap hands in the middle. Now, who does this break favor?
I'm definitely going to say it's favoring Ruth a little bit. You get put on your back, that takes a lot out of you.
Yeah.
And it's halting Herbert's momentum a little bit.
Minute 45 to go, so enough time for either of these guys to put some more points on the board.
Yeah, I mean, 3 points for Ruth is not a lot.
And I'm close to the officials, but I cannot hear what they're saying.
I think they're just checking scorecards here and comparing scorecards to make sure they have the correct score on the board, which you like to see.
It is correct, 7-4. And they're thinking about challenging it. I think the referees are going to come back and talk it over again. Sean Bormet's going to come over and have a word. The sequence was 2 blue, 2 red, 2 blue, and the last was a hand-to-hand 1. We started at 2-2. 3 2s and a 1. So 7-4 is the scenario. That's where we are. Minute 45 to go in this, and we got more scoring to do. That's all I know.
I know.
And Herbert right back in on the leg. Ruth defending. Trying to run through it. Herbert's going to get 4. Is it going to be confirmed? And it is.
Confirmed.
Big
Man.
1 for Jake Herbert. He's going to go up 11-4. Wow. Man on a mission is a good way to put it. He fires off another attack. Herbert, bread and butter. I was talking about left-handed single leg to come out the back door. He done it again.
Yeah, Ruth's trying to hop off the side here.
And
he might get exposed again.
Herbert in a decent position here. Ruth over the top, has the ankles. Jake's got a shallow, what I like to call leg half. And there's going to be, I thought it was another exposure. It was indeed 2 more. And it's confirmed 13-4. He's 1 score, 1 point away from a tech fall. He's going to get taken to the mat. 13-6 now. Herbert up by 7. 55 seconds to go.
Yeah, these two aren't going to let us breathe here.
I told you we were going to see more points on the board.
Hit down, hit down.
Herbert big and strong underneath. 44 now on the clock. Back to the feet and watch for Ed Ruth to go shoot, 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 shoot.
Stay in your offense. Keep your motion going. Keep your motion going. Stay in your offense.
Is Herbert going to continue to attack, or will he get to defense?
Yep, that's going to be a push-up. They're going to let him work.
And they're going to go 2. Herbert had a whizzer.
They're going 2.
They're going to confirm the 2.
13-8.
Jake said challenge it. I don't think you challenge it. Give away another point.
I don't think you challenge it. He's going to challenge it.
So we are going to go to the challenge. Had some breaks in this one. 31 seconds to go. Jake up by 5. If he loses the challenge, he'll be up by 4.
He had the whizzer in. That's what he's saying. He said, Ruth
he did
wasn't
have
around
the whizzer.
behind me, but
I thought you had. I thought it was more so that you had to be around the corner and freestyle than folk style.
Right. It's not the same strict, rigid, control rules that you have in folk style. And I don't see them overturning this. Could they? Perhaps. We'll take another look at the video. Unless Jake stepped completely out before Ruth was at that corner, like you said. Otherwise, I see the two sticking here. We're just awaiting the video review.
Herbert catching his breath. Ruth doing the same.
My question is, how many points can we get on the board in 31 seconds?
It's going to be some. There's going to be some. I think so.
Absolutely. And I will say, I was going to try and make this point earlier. This match has been very well officiated. Just, you got to give credit where credit's due. Our chairman here allowed Coach Bourmet to come across the mat, talk to him. He explained the scoring. He conferred with the other officials. And that's what you like to see from the officials. That way you don't have a scoring error in a match, in a big-time match that we've seen
at the NCAA tournament.
At the NCAA tournament. We saw it yesterday.
Here we go.
So here's the action. So Ruth is
to the
Herbert
corner.
was not all the way out. There he's all the way out.
We still
so
got
that's
the
when
wizard.
You stop it. You stop it when the foot goes out. So that could be one.
I see one from up top. And they are going to go one, so it'll be 13-7, correct?
13-7. So a good challenge there.
Good call by Herbert and Bourmet. Right? 13-7, 6-point lead for Jake Herbert with 30 seconds to go. Ed Ruth needs 3 takedowns or another different sequence.
He has the front headlock. He's around close to the takedown.
Ruth with the score, make it 13-9. He needs to score 4 points in the last 17 seconds. Can he get a turn here? Herbert just kind of conceded that last takedown, and we're now under 10 to go. 9-8 as they come back up. Ruth's going to need a couple of takedowns.
4-pointer, that's what you need.
From the outside, Herbert's going to hang on to this front headlock and try to finish it out, and it looks like he's going to do it. And he'll give up one. They're not going to score it at the end. Doesn't matter. Jake Herbert will overtake Ed Ruth and win this one. Final score, 13-11. Folks, stand up, give him a hand. The best match I've seen so far tonight.
Absolutely, without a doubt. Both guys laying it out on the line. Both guys offensive. That's what you love to see. And, you know, like we said before, these guys best of friends. When they get out of there, they're warriors on the mat, constantly going. There was no delay in the action. I couldn't even make a point because you had to talk the whole time because they wouldn't stop moving.
Ladies and gentlemen,
crazy.
Jake Herbert is back.
Absolutely. I'm not even sure who he has. Winner Duran Wynn and Keith Gavin.
I haven't taken my eyes off this one at all. I'm sure if let me check here. I got the bracket in front of me in a second. Wow, that was awesome. 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 Good match. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Jake. That's what the fans want, and you gave it to us. We appreciate that. You guys are warriors, and they're going to meet again.
Absolutely.
They're going to meet again. Whether it's at the World Team Trials, whether it's next year, it doesn't matter. Those two are going to probably give us another awesome bout. And it's going to be Keith Gavin versus Jake Herbert in the finals. We've seen that a bunch, and I think Herbert's come ahead almost every time, but, man, it is always down to the wire. Gavin, a crafty veteran.
As it is with most matches between the top 4 or 5 guys of this weight class. I mean, this is a deep weight for us. You know,
yes.
A year ago at this time, we're thinking Clayton Foster's going to be the guy based on his World Cup. And then, you know, you got Gavin taking out Foster at the Open in the finals. You got Ruth taking out Foster and Gavin at the trials. And then you got a guy like Chris Perry coming in the mix who takes out Foster at the trials for 3rd.
And Duran Wynn takes out Chris Perry 7-3 in this tournament. I mean, it's just this weight
Richard Perry
awesome.
comes out of nowhere to win the NYAC tournament. He's the 4 seed here. You got John Reeder. John Reeder's the 7 seed.
John Reeder's a hammer. Absolute hammer.
Heck of a weight. So we've got another good one. I mean, have we not had a good one yet? It's going to be Jake Varner, J.D. Bergman.
And you know what? Bergman was the guy who had Varner's number,
Absolutely.
you know, for some time. Underhook, push, push, push.
This weight's so interesting the way it's set up. Varner, Bergman, the 2 vets in the semis, you know, and the storyline's going to be, can Varner, you know, sort of get through that hump and take out Bergman, the guy who's had his number? And then on the bottom semi, you got Kyle Snyder and Jaden Cox, the two guys who are
Freshmen and sophomores
freshmen
in
in
college.
Yeah, the two young guys. And, you know, we know Snyder has a junior world title under his belt, but Cox, he looks so impressive today. He's so impressive, such a specimen.
And I believe he was down like 5-1 or something like that to Zabriskie. I only heard this, I didn't see it, but he was down with 20 seconds to go or something and came back and won 9-5, put all these points on the board last 20 seconds or something like that.
So those two meeting in the NCAA semifinals with Snyder coming out on top, taking out the defending NCAA champion Jaden Cox, and now they're meeting in the U.S. Open finals just a couple weeks later. Semifinals.
It's all right. We all make mistakes.
Semifinals, yeah.
Look at Bergman. He always looks sharp. Tight, and the hair's tight and right. The beard's all shaved up, trimmed up, looking good. Varner just looking like a brick house.
Nice.
We're underway. Olympic gold medalist Jake Varner in the red. Former world team member, two-time, I believe, world team member J.D. Bergman in the blue. Tries to go for that club underhook.
Yeah, the last, 6 years, these have been the two guys representing the U.S. on the world team.
Wow. Good call. And you got to imagine 2016 is going to be probably it for both of these guys. And look to our left, there's your future.
Absolutely.
Our left would be mat number 4.
And Varner currently ranked number 18 in the world. Has a world bronze medal in 2011 to go along with his Olympic title in 2012. 29 years old. Taking on Bergman, who's 30. Was actually 10th in the Worlds at 2011. And, you know, he went back to the Worlds in 2013 in Budapest. I believe he lost in the quarterfinals there.
It was his first match, actually, I believe, and he was winning.
Oh, it was his first match.
He was winning and got pinned.
Yeah,
got thrown right at the end.
That was crazy. And that guy ended up wrestling for a medal. So passivity here on Varner. He's getting put on the shot clock early on in this one.
Let's go. Good job.
Varner on the shot clock. Got another 25 to score. The point's going to go to Bergman. Varner controlling the center of the map. Bergman with an overhook on the right. And 5 seconds to go.
So that'll be a caution against Varner. 1 point Bergman. He opens up scoring, takes the early lead. Both guys, really upper body kind of guys. You know, of course, Varner likes to pick, heavy with the collar tie, but he spends most of the match upper body tie-ups, as does Bergman.
Yeah. I was going to say, these guys kind of have similar styles to an extent.
But Bergman more so an underhook kind of guy. Varner the collar tie.
Yeah, what do we got? 1-0 Bergman, 30 seconds to go. First period. Bergman fires off an attack. Good hips by Jake Varner. Able to defend. Bergman taking him to the edge. And I believe it's going to be 1 point for Bergman. He's going to push Varner out 2-0. J.D. Bergman the last 17 seconds of the first.
Big points there for Bergman. And these guys are scrapping.
Yeah, they are.
They're going hard.
Some big guys. Bergman saying something to the ref about something Varner's doing. And I think Bergman maybe said that Varner had the hands on the throat, which I kind of thought I saw earlier, but it didn't look like he was choking him or anything.
Yeah, Bergman trying to just catch his cool, collect his breath.
Varner bent over, hands on the knees.
Well, that's the thing. Varner typically bigger, stronger than all the guys he wrestles. I mean, domestically, when he gets up against those guys internationally, that's a different story. Yeah, Donnie's kind of a big dude. But Bergman matches him.
Yes, I think Bergman.
Pound, strength for strength. And I think that's the Achilles, But Varner's having a hard time getting to his tie up, first of all, getting to the collar tie where he can actually bait for the ankle pick or the knee pick. So that's a good job on Bergman's part by keeping the solid motion and getting to his hooks.
Underhook throw by attempt by Bergman. Varner won't let it happen. Varner lowers his level, stutters, good. Oh, look at that attack by Bergman. Again, great hips, a couple deep attacks by Bergman. Both times Varner throws the hips on him and stops the attacks. Varner,
he's got to look to circle in.
He's got like a cradle-ish kind of thing. He was over the arm instead of around the neck, or as opposed to around the neck, not instead of, but referee blows it dead either way. 2 minutes to go, 2:05 in the bout. J.D. Bergman up 2-0 over defending Olympic champion Jake Varner.
Yeah, so at this point in the match, we want to see Jake start to, start attacking, start to open up a little bit. And there it is, he's trying.
Bergman stops it, catches double unders.
Not sure that a super duck, high and into Bergman is the most efficient route for Varner. But, his pick's not working. So what's your number 2?
Bergman probably going to be content to hold good position here. Doesn't really need to attack in the last minute 30 of the match. JD with an underhook. Varner got head position here in the side of. Referee stops it, says, let's see some action.
We saw Jake Varner in this position at the World Cup against Iran, down by 2, under a minute to go.
Oh my gosh, like under a minute, under like 5 seconds to go.
Under like 5 seconds to go.
And I remember thinking, I'm like, what? He's got to do something. What's he doing? What's he? And
he
of course,
he
who the hell am I to
and
question him?
waiting, and he baited it and baited it, and he got the takedown.
And he takes an attack again. Bergman again defends. 43 to go. Two nothing over there. Kyle Snyder leading Jaden Cox in your other semifinal.
25 seconds. This is where Varner has to go. It's crunch time.
Yes, sir. Let's see what he's got. And we definitely know he's capable. J.D. Bergman's going to keep that head down and stay low. Oh, there it is! Oh, Varner does it yet again. 10 seconds to go. Who are we to question this guy? The champion. One more time. 3 seconds to go, and that'll do it. Jake Varner has done it once again in the waning moments of the match. He's going to take it over J.D. Bergman.
You're going to give me heart attacks. You keep doing this to me. Last 2 matches I've called of Jake Varner, he gets a takedown in the last 5 seconds. Jeez.
Hey,
impressive stuff.
He is the man.
I mean, you got to give credit to someone who gets stifled for 5.5 minutes, and he figures out a way to get it done.
Talk about poise. Keeping your composure, staying calm, and he didn't fire off attack after attack of sloppy shot. He just found that one, and he made it work for him.
Yeah, misdirection duck.
And Cox over there able to successfully defend a shot, although he's down by 4. To Kyle Snyder here with about 1:17 to go over on mat number 1. So, J.D. Varner. That's 2 different people. Jake Varner, we'll call him Clutch.
Clutch.
He is clutch.
He has definitely been money. So we've got one more match on our mat.
It will be the big boys.
Yes, sir. And it's going to be another good one. Shocker.
Who do we got?
Lagnev, Nick Wasdowski.
J.D. Cox now in on a leg. Good defense by Kyle Snyder. Ooh, Cox is going to score. He's got 30 seconds to go to put another one on the board, another score. He needs 2. And now that could be an interesting finish. Look at the clock, 26 seconds to go. That is enough time. The Snyder going to defensive mode to stay motivated and move forward. Ken Cox, pull of Varner.
We'll see.
We're going to call that pulling of Varner from now on, PS.
Jaden Cox has a little duck under the left side. I think he could do it.
Yeah.
Close
They're
to
out
the
of
edge.
bounds, but it's 7 to go. And they go 1 blue on the push-out, but he needs a 2-point score.
He does need a 2-pointer. 7 seconds, so still got to get a takedown.
And it doesn't look like he's going to attack. Takes one attack at the end. Kyle Snyder will take out Jaden Cox for the 2nd time in 2 months.
Yeah, and he is jacked.
Same thing with those guys. Look at the mutual respect we talked about before. You know, these two very good competitors. And he's pumped. Kyle Snyder is pumped. You know, that year
that's got to be big for Kyle Snyder. I mean, just from a mental perspective, heading into next year. Or I mean, even World Team Trials.
And you consider what happened to him at the NCAAs. This has to be a redemption, getting something back, because that obviously can't sit well.
He's going to have a shot at the ultimate redemption. He's got an Olympic champion in the finals waiting for him.
And he's, what, 18, 19 years old?
Yeah. And, you know, again, we've had a lot of talk about youngsters, but this is the one guy we've thought that has a shot, you know, because no one's really been close to Varner outside of Bergman last year, but Bergman didn't wrestle Varner last year. It was Kilgore in the finals of the World Team Trials. So it's just been, you know, can Kyle Snyder be the guy? And he's going to get a crack at it tomorrow. We're going to see. Very interested to see how that one shakes out, because you got an Olympic champ versus a junior world champion.
Both guys have been on top of the world. Let's do this. Get the big boys on the mat. And I tell you, Nick Gwizdowski took out Dom Bradley, who has formerly taken out Tervel Delagnev.
Yeah, well, that was a crazy match. Gwizdowski comes out immediately for the takedown. I mean, in the first 20 seconds, I'm thinking, man, Gwiz is on another level here. He just came out, takedown, then he got another point on a push-out. So he took like a 3-0 lead, and then Bradley just started inching his way closer. It was 3-1 at the break, I believe. Gwiz got a push-out, but then at the end of the match, it was 3 push-outs in a row in like the last 45 seconds for Bradley. And you're thinking, Gwizdowski's going to give this up. And it was this close to Gwizdowski losing at the end of the match. So, you know, he's definitely not going to be happy about the way he ended that match. Obviously happy he won, but the way he ended it. He's
happy about the outcome, not the performance.
Exactly. And, you know, Tervel, you know, this is really going to be his first real test of the tournament. We didn't get to see this match last year with Tervel sitting in the finals, awaiting the winner of, actually it was Gwizdowski and Ray that wrestled in the challenge bracket finals. Ray comes out on top. So I'm interested to see this matchup. Both guys wrestle like lightweights. They're able to move their bodies in such a way you would think a 275-pound man would not be able to move.
Well, and you know, one thing Tervel has said before is, I just want to wrestle. I don't like the way most heavyweights wrestle. They'll stand there and hold position, they slap with the leg, and they'll try to push you out and try to win 1-0. I like to wrestle. Well, guess what? So does Nick Gwizdowski.
Exactly. This is going to be an awesome match.
I'm excited.
And both these guys sweet with the low-level shots too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's uncommon to see a heavyweight with an awesome low level, but we have 2 heavyweights going against each other with an awesome low level. Throw in their quickness, throw in their size, throw in their speed. I mean, this is just a great matchup. Youth versus experience. We've seen it a number of times tonight. And another scenario where you're possibly looking at the future versus the present, or future versus the present.
Yeah, you had it right. Then
I
you
had
tripped
it right.
yourself up.
Yep. I was sounding smart for a minute, and then it just backfired on me.
Second-guessed myself. Dang it.
Another semi is a good one as well. Not going to be as high-paced, but could see some bombs over there with Fortune.
Remember that one time Fortune threw Ray through the mat? I think the whole entire stage collapsed.
It was at this tournament. I'm pretty sure Mat 1 went down.
Yeah. Well, and then the whole thing, there's a hole in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So we're going to do this right in front of us, 125 kilos. the current man, Tervel Delagnev, in the red, Nick Gwiazdowski in the blue.
And, you know, Delagnev, he's been banged up a little bit. He hasn't been training as much. I think he said 2 weeks before World Cup. So when he was actually starting to train, didn't wrestle in that final of the World Cup because he injured himself again. So, you know, it's going to be curious to see if that plays any sort of factor.
Yeah, I almost see him wincing, actually. Yeah. Runs to it, snatches a single, though, immediately. Throws Gwiazdowski to the ground. He's going to try to go to work on top here. He's up 2-0. He'd love to make it 4. Gwiazdowski, the 2-time NCAA champion, defending here. And Nick going to try to make it 3. Of course, he stopped Tony Nelson from winning 3 titles when he won it his first time as a sophomore. Repeated this year. Tervel going right back to the snatch. Had it for a second. Let's go, but runs Gwiazdowski out of bounds. Make it 3-0 for the Bulgarian-American Tervel Delagnev.
He is just so good. I mean, he truly could be the best heavyweight in the world.
Yes.
I mean, you know, he's had his stumbles at the World Championships, but he's been in the bronze medal match the last 5 years.
Pretty dang good.
So consistency is key. And, you know, he's beating the guys that win. It just alternates every year who he's wrestling.
And he's going to get another push out and another point, 4-0 for Delagnev. 1:47 to go here in the first period. Gwiazdowski shot from the outside, gets to the leg, head on the outside, high cross position. Looks like he's struggling here. He's got his hips in, but it looks like he's trying to hang on and wait for a stalemate. I mean, you are fighting a lot of size in Tervel. Now he kind of sits him into a crackback position, and he tries to take the big man over. They roll through, and they're going to go to red. Did Gwiazdowski get exposed, and it is going to be confirmed.
Are going to red.
6-0, and I see a blue challenge cube fly onto the mat.
I think that's a good challenge there. Gwiazdowski was the initiator of that action, and you didn't see Tervel do anything to put Gwiz on his back.
To initiate that?
You know, so I think that's going to be a good no. I don't think Tervel exposed. Just off my initial reaction, we can obviously watch the video in a second, but my initial thought is it's 0-0, backstanding. But interesting to see Tervel's shot attempts were high level, and he got the quick outside angle, so Gwiazdowski wasn't able to put his hips down on him. Gwiazdowski gets trapped underneath, and we end up in that scenario we just saw. So I think you're seeing a little bit of experience and strategy come into play here.
We are going to get a challenge. Mat number 3 will be upon us shortly. Minute 10 to go here in the first period. As it stands right now, it's got 4 on the board. The 2 that they threw up would make it 6. That's the 2 they're currently going to be reviewing. And they got a dial-up modem, so it's going to take a second to get that replay up on the board. Look at that. He got a nice little cherry on his face. Does Gwiz. He probably blocked a couple shots with his face, which is what we call good position.
Yeah, bear with us. Challenges have been taking a while. They've been challenging.
Get it?
You're always quick at the joke.
Thanks.
It's very refreshing.
I try. Nick Gwiazdowski of Journeyman Wrestling up there in Albany, New York. And if you haven't seen, speaking of Albany, New York, if you haven't seen the latest Mark Schultz piece we just put out, part 1, part 2 comes out next week. Check it out. Frank Popolizio had Mark up for a clinic and a screening of the movie Foxcatcher, and a long sit-down interview where he talked about a lot of subjects, including his brother, Dave Schultz, just his life overall, and pretty interesting dude, to say the least.
Yeah, that's definitely one I want to check out. I haven't got to see it yet.
And I was, I had the pleasure to go up there. Super nice guy, Mark Schultz is, but a very unique and enigmatic, I think would be a good word, individual. And then we went out. Guess what we did? We wanted to do some kind of day in the life activity. You know what Mark wanted to do? Shoot guns. He even said, he's like, it's kind of ironic that we just watched Foxcatcher and now we're here shooting guns. I was like, yeah, you're scaring me, dude. But a kind of dark and emotional piece, as you would imagine. Here's the review. Gwiz gets in the leg. Now, remember, they froze here for a second before Gwiz gets a little crackback position and throws that. I guess it'll be Gwiz's, the right hip of Tervel on the mat. Here they sit. And, yeah, I think you're right. Gwiz was the one who initiated that, in my opinion.
Oh, he did. He definitely initiated that. He had the crackdown, and he cinched up the elbow with the opposite side arm and tried to roll it over the top. And Tervel just sort of, I don't think he exposed. We don't have a good angle to review that from what we're seeing on the board.
Tervel actually came close to getting exposed, but you can't determine that from
but he
one.
He was able to keep his hips down. I think he was.
And we're gonna look. They're gonna go 2-2.
Are they?
2-2 is what I'm seeing from Rick Tucci, our head official behind us at the review table, and they're gonna come over and talk it out. So good call by Pat Papalizio and Jamil Kelly over in his corner.
Yeah, so it should be 4-2 on your board, not 6-2.
No, it would be 6-2. 2-2. It was 4-0.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's all right. I think that Oklahoma math.
Yeah, again.
I love you. Gwizdowski keeping a low stance, pawing at the head is Tervel. Under a minute to go in the first now.
Get on those feet. Yes, good. Good movement with your feet.
Low-level attempt there from Tervel, and was able to quickly snatch that leg back. Tervel shooting at air. In and out, now Gwiz in underneath, trapped under the hips of Delagnev.
That's some big hips. Delagnev going to look for push out. Nice job staying in bounds was Gwizdowski. Short time.
There you have it. We have a 4-point advantage for Talal Delagnev at the break. Nick Gwizdowski. He's hanging in there. He's got to get on his attacks. He's going to need to get at least a couple more takedowns. But after that first flurry, 2 takedowns from Delagnev in that opening minute, it's been a pretty even match.
Yeah, Gwizdowski has got himself right back into this match, or at least, like you said, stayed in this match since that point. He does, however, trail by 4, and that's a big gap to be down to this guy by.
Absolutely. No margin for error here for Gwizdowski, but he is still in it. Looks like Zach Ray 4-3 over Tyrell Fortune in the other semi.
So Ray into the finals. Gwizdowski post shot. Tervel, good defense.
It just appears Gwizdowski's having a hard time closing the gap. You see the distance between the two.
Shot from the outside, re-attack, and now we see Gwiz to the leg, but man, that leg is the size of me.
Yeah.
Good luck hanging on to that thing.
Extended Gwiz was as well.
Yeah.
Trying to suck that leg in. It was so hard.
Tervel just
get that back. Completely locked out.
Shot from underneath. Now he's stuck underneath, front head position. Tervel releases. We're back up to our feet. Under 2 minutes to go.
Know where you're at. Snap and circle. That's it. Circle. Keep your feet moving. Hands and
Tell you what, a
moving
takedown here makes this match a lot more interesting.
I almost want to see takedown just because there'd be a little bit more drama.
Yeah. Tervel's going to start getting dinged here like we're seeing, because Gwizdowski has taken a lot of shots.
And another shot by Gwiz. Tervel stops it, catches an underhook on the left side, holds the head underneath. 1.5 minutes to go. Tervel sprawls on him. A shot by Gwizdowski. Delagnev circles around. Is going to put 2 more on the board. Just about puts this thing out of reach. It's going to be 8-2 with 60 seconds to go.
Yeah, 6-point margin here. It's going to be real tough for Gwizdowski to come back. And you've seen how hard it is for him to get in on the legs. He's shooting his tail off, but Tervel's just, monster hips. I mean, you can just see the size of his quads there. I mean, they're massive.
They are really big. And he runs ahead, gets ahead inside shot. Gwizdowski, nice job defending that. Puts his leg back on the mat, successfully defends, but he trails by 6 with 37 seconds to go.
Heavy snap from Tervel.
Gwiz trying to do everything he can, just a little bit outmatched here. 20 seconds to go. And a good motion, good hand fighting by Nick Gwizdowski.
Yeah, he's just inches away.
Yes.
If that.
But it's a game of inches at times, And that will do it. Tervel Delagnev reaches the finals of the U.S. Open once again, looking to gain himself another U.S. Open title. Tervel Delagnev, 8-2 over Nick Gwizdowski, and that will close out your 2015 U.S. Open semifinals. It's been a good one, man. We got some great matches coming up for you tomorrow. I can't wait. We got 4 full weights of Greco that are going to go start to finish, and then, of course, our 8 men's finals, our 8 women's finals, and Richard.
It's going to be great. I mean, you're going to have some great console matchups coming up in the morning, running into the afternoon, coming into our night session with the finals. Amazing matchups, dream matchups.
Yeah, I was going to say, even some of our consolation matches, our 5th place matches, our 3rd place matches are going to be multiple-time All-Americans, multiple-time NCAA champions meeting up, tangling, and who knows? It's the best of the best here in the United States taken to the mat. It's going to be something to watch, Richard.
I can't wait. I can't wait, man.
We are going to be back here streaming live starting at 9 a.m. Pacific. That's 10-11 noon on the East Coast. We appreciate you guys being here. For Richard Immel, I am Mark Bader. Thanks so much for tuning in to Flow Wrestling. We'll see you guys tomorrow.